Okay, welcome everybody, welcome to another stream, and I just made a mistake. I actually wanted to show you the before and after, and now you have already seen the after picture, but let me try to explain. I did a bit of photo bashing with this one and kind of corrected some things here and there. Nothing overly complicated. I did manage to record most of this stuff on stream. Only the last couple of changes I didn't record, as I just got a bit carried away with that. But yeah, I hope you're doing fine. I'm certainly doing fine, and I hope maybe we can call this one finished at the end of the day. Oh, we will see. So I think yeah, let's just get started with drawing. And I do want to kind of switch back between like this after version and the one before, and basically have the best version by deleting out some stuff, adding stuff, and yeah, let's go. I think first I want to separate the edges here a bit. Okay, that looks okay-ish. Emphasize the perspective here a bit more. So let's add another layer. And I do want to tone this down. For now. Just add the lines and afterwards we can correct them. Actually, kind of don't know this. Looks pretty nice as it is. Let me see if we can do this all on one layer. Maybe, no. I do think I need another one. And we tone that down just a little bit, I guess. This looks nice. Can we something with a color touch more for to do that, it needs to be very subtle. Yeah, I think we go for this one. Gonna notch that down. And then notice a couple of lines aren't perfectly in perspective. I need to take extra care to make them follow perspective. This should be a bit lighter. And again, we can scroll back and look at everything. How does this look? I do think it's quite nice. And let me zoom in real quick. It's pretty much just detailing, but it's still this needs to be done. I apologize in advance for switching back and forth a bit. I kinda do need to do that. So, and again, if you have any questions regarding technique, if you want to chill out here a bit, talk about art, or basically anything, feel free to hit me up, write in the chat, and I'll try to answer as best as I can. And if you just want to vibe a bit and enjoy my painting, you can do that too. Everything here is appreciated. I really want to emphasize these edges here. I think this should be a tad darker. I do think we are making progress. I do want to keep those nice streets. Is something not working? Yeah, oh no. I'm hard to understand, Emma. So, is it better now? It's still a bit loud. Wait a moment. So, like that? Is that better? You can also get a bit closer to the microphone. Does it work? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, it's okay. This needs to be a bit darker, and I'm just gonna play with some forms and write different things to make this really look cool. I think I want to add the windows here as well. I kinda got lost in the progress when I did Photo Bash. And yeah, it's starting to come together. Let me switch to the full image, and I think we can add a bit of blue streaks here. Again, just to separate out these buildings. This might actually be a bit much what I've done here. It's okay though. I do really like to add these like blue light streak effects. They are a bit artificial, but for such a, I guess, fantasy, sci-fi artwork, it really works. And again, it emphasizes the perspective a bit, and this is kind of very important for me. We do want to emphasize this road a bit more, and we can even add later some lights or something like that. I don't know. Oh, sorry about that. And when you are detailing buildings, I mean, obviously I'm working a lot with Photobash and this makes the whole thing a bit easier. But I kind of did this mistake in the last stream, is that I didn't worry too much about the form. No, let me paraphrase that. I went a bit too literal. So now here I'm just trying to bring out broader forms, and usually this works out better than doing like literal window stills or stuff like that. And here it's really more about these various forms, and I need to keep an eye on them. And another thing I try to incorporate is constantly want to be aware where the light is coming from and adding this to the image. So let's look at the whole image again. I feel like this one here is a bit too dark, isn't it? So what we can do about that maybe is to select all of this. And push it a bit more in the background just with one layer. Something like that, maybe even a tad more, like that. Is everything okay?
Yeah, like actually from what we discussed.
Let us talk about that later, okay? Yeah. We can merge that one down, I think. And again, we want to emphasize these edges by using the chalk brush. Actually, let me see if I can accentuate the perspective a bit more here. I do think that would be a nice touch. I do think that's okay. Again, I'm on the verge of being too literal here again. But at least we can separate out this one. Let's look at the whole image again. This strong line here is bothering me a bit. Can we have a pretty dark color here to make it clear that this is indeed a hovering highway road? Yeah, you think that looks about right? And same thing here. I think we can separate this out a bit more. Doesn't have to be much. On a second thought, let's don't do that. I do think rather than going to light, we go to black here. Because that way the highway really stands out. Yeah, I do think that it is closer to what we want. Let's look at this. I mean, this works because the building really is de facto parallel in perspective here. It still messes a bit with our expectations. Like the roundness derives purely from the shading. Okay, let's switch back. I'm not sure how well I'm doing here with the color gradient. I do think all of this needs to be toned down. Okay, we're getting somewhere here. We are getting somewhere. It takes a bit of time to get everything perfectly right. Do you want to accentuate the bridge here a bit? And I don't like that these colors kind of merge together. Like this should be a tad brighter in the background. So let me try to do that. This as well. Should be a bit lighter to separate it. We have also a bit of a wet tension going on here. I'm pretty sure we should solve that now. We'll care about it later. Okay, let's switch back. What was happening here? What was I thinking? It just doesn't make any sense. Gaming Hamster, nice to have you here. I hope you're doing fine. And yeah, I did switch some things around here in Hamster Town. Like this was the original, and as you can see, still this is a bit undefined, and I wasn't too happy with how some of the things turned out. And I did a quick photo bash, and now everything looks a lot more refined. I do need to be aware to yeah, not overdo it with the sci-fi-ness, and get a hamster component going. Just one part of Hamster Town, yeah. All of these may be different parts of the big hamster civilization. And also, I did have a couple. I mean, I need to address all of the artifacts of the photo bash. I did address most of them, but not all. It's Hamster Tatooine, yeah, it has a bit of a Tatooine vibe. I can see that. I can definitely see that. And I think the most important thing at this stage is not to lose the overall composition. And again, I'm talking so much about contrast creep. You might be already sick of it, but it's a real problem. And it really needs to be addressed. I don't think I want that. It actually looks better, a bit more undefined. This needs to be a bit lighter. As this is also supposed to be the light side. And I don't like that. You need to be aware of the various forms of tensions that can build here and avoid them. Let me see if I can actually experiment a bit with a wiggly line tool or something like that. Okay, and see you later, Gaming Hamster. Thanks for checking by. Yeah, I want to try something with bit of a wiggly line. Where do we have those? Is it here, or do you think it's here? It's not exactly what I'm looking for. I don't want like a super crisp line, but rather something that introduces a bit of noise, not too much. I don't know. I'm not finding the right tool here, so let's just revert back to the chalk brush. And we want to emphasize this as well. Nope, was a bit overzealous here. I think this is sufficient. We do want to push back all of this a bit. Yeah, it looks better now. I mean, the problem with this is obviously that we're going like hyper detail. Not something I usually do. And then you have to do that in all parts of the image. Need to switch on the grid here. This might be too dark. Yeah, it is. But I did draw that on another layer, so we can blend that until it looks just right. Let me continue here real quick. I do think this works actually better if I magical wand this. Okay, no. Maybe an ellipse. Why are you not working now? Don't want that. Let's lasso out these artifacts here. And I guess now we can really adjust needed level, which is about halfway there. And this looks nice. I do want to do something at the left side too. And let's go for the chalk brush again. Switch on the various line helpers. And a bit too bright, isn't it? I think we can have another element here, like another rounded building. I think we stay on the chalk brush for now. We do need to pick the right color though. Push back this a bit. It's just pushing and pulling until you have something that you like. GBJL, nice to have you here in the stream. I hope you're doing great. I actually had you a bit in lurk mode on when you played this. I guess it was a multiplayer game. Actually, I'm sorry. I want to to mention something that you did there, but I didn't really pay attention. I'm so sorry. But you have a very nice voice. It's very calming, and I kind of like to have something in the background while I work. The shooter one or the horror one? I think that was more horror related. You had some kind of pitchfork or something like that there, maybe, but I'm not too sure. And we need to separate this out a bit more. And again, same procedure. Taking a bit of a lighter color. And why isn't this working? It should. Like this should be like, yeah, no, it is working. Danke für die Wertschätzung. Sehr, sehr gerne, Kiwi. I didn't know how to write it in English. No problem. It's just you can say hi to YouTube, Kiwi, because most of my videos, I mean, they do kind of, most of my art videos, they do kind of decent on Twitch, but they do a lot better on YouTube, which makes sense in a way because hi YouTube, it's Kwijel. Because actually, like artists, they look for stuff like that to help them with their, I guess, perspective or landscape painting in general, and then they find my stuff, and that really is, I guess, the main viewership now. What is okay. I mean, I also don't mind like painting and not having a lot of views. I really don't mind. It's totally okay. I mean, it's always a bit more fun to have somebody to chat to, but yeah. Usually the oh no, it's saving. The most problem I have with this is that I then run out of things to talk about. And again, I'm getting really into English German mixture here. So when I don't do this a lot, my English tends to suffer quite a bit. Let me see if we can add a bit of perspective lines here. And how is this coming together? It is coming together, but it takes a lot of time. Yeah, I guess. I also want to improve with arts and have a graphic tablet, but my art isn't so great, so I sometimes just draw and watch others to see how to improve. Yeah, that's exactly my fanbase. So if you have like any questions regarding, I guess, technique or like this art stuff in general, what are you primarily interested in drawing? I think I already have asked that. I think you said that you are really into character design, which isn't something I'm great at. But at least, I mean, if you somehow end up drawing a background, this piece that I'm working on now might really help with stuff like that. As you can see, I'm basically like have all these micro separations between like dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, light, dark, and so on. And if you do that all over again, you can really get like this grandiose epic scale. You just have to do that enough. I mean, if you do it 1 or 2 times, it's not enough. It needs to be all over the place, and then it really looks amazing. You want to start easy and do a new emote. Yeah, with emotes, that's actually kind of a problem for me, because when you're doing emotes, you really have to keep in mind that you're working to a 28 by 28 pixel picture, and if you don't keep that in mind, your emote will look horrible when scaled to the size. So you really need to do that, and it requires actually other skills than like regular portrait painting or something like that. So I wouldn't necessarily say that it's easier, because I struggle a lot with that. I did this one. Let me just save real quick, and we can have a bit of a look at my cringy emotes. Let me see. How do you have the last one? Actually, I was okay-ish happy with this one. I think this is it. Like, you really need to be aware that this will be scaled down a lot. And if you scale it down to 28 by 28 pixels, it really is so tiny. And it still needs to read. You still need to make sure that, oh yeah, that's a hand, that's a grinning face, this is a beard. So you can't have everything at once, and sometimes you need to do things a bit more in an abstract way. And yeah, this is, I don't know. Compared to my first emote, it's getting better, but still.
Oh, but it's so cute.
It's cute, you like it. my girlfriend likes it. So, and that's the most important thing, that my girlfriend likes it. It really is.
Stop being so cheap.
And what's usually a good idea when you're doing such a cityscape here is something I neglected in my last stream, and that is to really don't think about like houses and windows, and I did that error here again, I guess. You really need to abstract those and work almost like if you are painting an abstract piece, and just have forms that work together in harmony. And this is a bit difficult to explain. I mean, what forms work together harmonically? I guess it just comes with the time. To separate this out a bit. I do think we need to push that a bit back. Looks a bit too contrast intensive for my tastes. Let us see what we're doing here. I do think I want to have some rounded element here too. Like, this city is all about these rounded rooftops. Like, I want to incorporate this hamster-like habitation. And I did that by having all of these walkways and little entranceways. I mean, obviously they are not little, right? Which might pose a problem, because like this here in the background is like very scaled down. And this almost looks a bit too large. So we can try to adjust that a bit. And again, I'm constantly switching back and forth between like close-up version and the main version of the image to make sure that I don't add too much tonal value. Which tends to happen a lot. And exactly this happened here now. I need to tone that down. Yeah, I do think. Yeah, please, Media Monkey, go away. I do think this area looks now pretty nice. Need to get into here and also do want to adjust that a bit. It's just bad photo dash. I think I want to remove that as well here. And again, just to reiterate, if you're new to the channel, if you want to ask me basically anything, art related or otherwise, feel free to do so. But if you're just here to lurk a bit, that's fine too. At the moment we are doing this Hamster civilization pick, which is actually kind of requested work if you want so. With my channel points you can basically get enough and then I will paint a nice landscape for you if you like. And this happened for Gaming Hamster, and she wanted a landscape that a hamster would enjoy, so, or a gaming hamster would enjoy. This is why we are doing this picture of a large hamster city in space, because why not? Yeah, a hamster arcade. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can make that read. Oh, this is way too saturated. Need to tone that down a bit. And again, look at the overall image and still It's okay. I need to do something with the windows here though. I think I rather want them to be a bit more uniform in color. Like especially here, it should be way darker. But yeah. It's continuing to get better and better until we have something we're proud of. Or at least something we're happy with. Actually, the trick with painting landscapes is just to be persistent and do the same stuff over and over again. Paint over it until it looks right. Which sometimes takes quite a bit of time. Okay, let's switch back to the image, and this looks wrong. I don't know why, but it does. I think it's better now, but now we don't have separation like that. Okay. Let's look at these little buildings here. This should be a bit darker. Actually, let's get rid of the lines for a short moment. I mean, they do help, but sometimes they also distract me quite a bit. And what is interesting about this part of the painting is that I actually, let me see. This is where we started with, right? and it's a bit more unrefined, and we did some photo bash. But this part here in particularly is derived from Midjourney, which is an AI, and I gave it some prompts, and it gave me an image back. But instead of like using this as a whole, I usually just cut off a tiny portion of it that I like, and just basically it gives me a bit of texture and something that I might not have thought of otherwise, and this is what we have here. And I think another good tip that I have for you is not to get too attached to your image. Especially you can see that with the way I painted some of the buildings here, and I revised them quite a bit. Like it is a foundation, right? But you don't have to, basically obey to what you did earlier. You just can use stuff that works and discard other stuff that doesn't work. Let's get these again. And this is the wrong perspective line. And you can see here when I select some of the things to correct perspective, or usually lighting, I tend not to worry about getting it like perfect. You can see me doing this here a lot of the time. I mean, it's okay, maybe not that bad, but something like that. Okay, and that's enough to correct the thing that I want to correct, and I can paint over that later. This is in part why this image is actually done quite quick. We did this in like 3 streams for about 2 hours, and one non-stream where I did some photo bashing work offline. But still, I'd say it's rather fast. And if you're constantly worrying about meaningless stuff like this, the speed will suffer a bit. And I think in part that is why I was drawn to concept art quite a bit, because I like to work fast and get results quick. And the way we can do this now with photo bashing and stuff, it really appeals to me. I want to convey an idea that I have. I don't necessarily take a lot of pride doing all the details here on my own. You just need something that works, right? And when you're doing concept art, Feng Tzu always said the client doesn't care about how you arrive at the work that you did. He just cares about is it good or is it not? And I like that mindset, even though I'm not a concept artist. And what I mean by that is I don't work in this field. I mean, you can argue that my work is pretty reminiscent of concept art, and that is fine, but I don't work in the field. It's not my day job. I just like to paint a bit. And if I can shade up with Twitch, that's amazing. And let's go back to using the grid. Let's get rid of this. And I also don't worry about overpainting stuff and just reintroduce that. This will be far better than if I would have painstakingly masked that out. We can also try to use this little brush that I recently discovered. I think this would be quite nice for windows. I do need to adjust my level of pressure here. I do think I want 100%, but I want a lighter color. So let's just color pick this one, make this 100%, turn on preserve transparency, and over this. Why isn't it working now? Did I pick the wrong color? Oh no. What happened there? This is not the right color, is it? Maybe it is. Okay. I'm not sure if I want to keep that, but for now let's paint a bit over it and see if we can get a bit of a nice texture. I do want to deviate a bit from the usual sci-fi look and make sure this is indeed a hamster city. I do need a couple of lighter colors here. Yeah, why not? I mean, this looks a bit like a hamster castle or something like that. And maybe we do have this clash of various different technologies. I mean, why not? I just need to make sure that I'm not overdoing it on the tonal values. And again, sorry for repeating myself all over again. I actually don't do a lot in here. I don't do a lot at all. I'm just thinking about colors and form, and most importantly tonal values, and I just detail this out. I mean, the heavy lifting is already done. This image already works regardless on what details I introduce here. It already looks nice, right? I mean, it could look nicer here and there, but still. Did you think I want to get rid of that building here entirely? It was like a sub building here already. Deleted quite a lot of it because this would introduce a bit of a tangent. I guess here it can start again. Why not? I need to make sure that this really follows perspective. This is so important. And it I mean, also this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It should be farther behind. It should also be a lot thinner. And I think this I can keep. Jungwalder, nice to have you here too. Sorry if I missed your message. Remembers me hardly of the style of Metropolis and stages made in similar years. Thank you so much. I like Metropolis actually a lot. Fritz Lang is like, I mean, he was rediscovered and now a lot of people are talking about him. But still, I feel like he's still underappreciated a bit. Like, especially for sci-fi stuff. If you get more in the academic world, he is appreciated a lot more. But like, a lot of concept artists should have seen the movie. I feel like. Actually, now this is so much fun. I really like detailing out this stuff at the moment. I'm not always a fan of detailing, but at the moment this just rocks. I really like to do that. Let me see, I think this one opening here is a bit in a bad spot. I don't like that. I think the main problem that I had with it was that it kind of undersold the scale. And it's very important to have like these points that you can reference. I think we have a bit of the same problem here. I guess like this could be huge, right? Still, I could improve this. Okay. Let's see if we can push back those larger buildings a bit. I feel like they are a bit too dark. I want to push them in a little bit. It's too much. Actually, let me get another layer and do it there. Wait, I can fine tune this. What is in the foreground? I think they are both at the same level, I guess. Then this looks quite a bit darker. I do think that looks better. I do think so. I still need to erase out some of this here so that I can correct that later. And at this point we do have a couple of layers here and I do want to merge them down. I feel like this little building here has a bit too much contrast. Well, slightly tone it down. Looks nicer. I think this is too much. Subtlety is key here. Sometimes you also want some aggressive contrast, so just back and forth. Is that working? No, it isn't switched on. Is it? No, now it's working. I think I need to zoom in on this, do I? Yeah, okay, this is... like at the moment very weird, but when we are done with this, it will look quite cool. Let's get rid of these for a moment. I have absolutely no idea what this is supposed to be, but it has an industrial vibe to it. We just stick to it. I think something will emerge. And we just do this over and over again. We find cool forms and they will work. It should be more lighter. I'm constantly switching on and off the snap to grid here again. Switching back and forth between straight lines, which should be in perspective, and a bit more random lines, usually round. And I want to control them on a case-by-case basis. Snap that on again. I tell also this story over and over again, so sorry if you hear it for the nth times. But when I look at stuff like that, like this photo bash that we have here, it's actually a lot like looking at clouds, what you might have done when you were younger, and see this shape and oh, this could be this. Actually, it's a nice activity, and I'd like to take the same approach when I'm detailing out stuff here. I just want to look at it and then come up with a cool idea what this could be. And this can be a tad lighter. Maybe not that light. Something like that. Like it starts very dark here and it recedes a lot into the background, which makes it look very, very huge. Full spaceship, that's I think a good call. I mean, those lines are not in perspective, I guess. No, they are. Okay. One line looks a bit wonky, but I actually like the look of it. What is the best way to improve in drawing, in your opinion? That's a good question, Gaby. I think the best way to improve is actually draw a lot. Okay, this comes out of... It should be no surprise, right? I mean, the more you do something, the better you will get. But then again, when you do that, you also should like practice on specific elements. Like practice composition, practice tonal value, practice values, and I think stuff like color should be reserved for way later. People dive into colors so quick, it's not beneficial. What do I mean with values? I actually mean stuff like, let me save this and I try to answer that, and I hope your other guys are okay and gals are okay with me going a bit on a tangent, but I'd like to answer this because it's something I struggled with a lot because I didn't know what to do, how to improve. And usually a good idea is to do a lot of these here in black and white. Obviously I did them in color. Yeah, let's grab them. So these are thumbnails, right? Some more refined, like I guess this here is very refined and looks very cool, and some others are not, but you should do really a lot of them. And when you start out, I mean, not every thumbnail will be cool. Like for example, this one, I no idea, this didn't work. This one is okay. This one could also be nice, and I guess with a bit of work, this could be nice too. But what you want to do is look at reference, try to copy it, and then as soon as you're a bit familiar with the subjects, you should do a lot of these. You should you shouldn't finish each of them like this painting I'm doing here now. On the contrary, you should throw away your images basically. In that way you can learn more about the value and the composition. And I talked a lot about value, and now I showed you some color thumbnails. So let me see if I can find something in black and white. These ones, I guess. Okay, like these are black and white, and they illustrate one principle very good. And this principle is you should have a clear separation between foreground, midground, and background. Like if I ask you in this image, what is the foreground? And you can say, oh well, it's this castle. The midground is also very clear. It's like this landscape and a bunch of trees and stuff like that. And if you want to get real fancy, you can separate two midgrounds like here, and you can argue that this is out of a midground 2 and this is the midground 1 or something like that. Oh no, I got rid of my color. And this is the background. And what is separating this so great is that the foreground usually is very dark, the midground is in a kind of gray area, and the background is light. And you can see the same principle here, like you have this rocky formation, volcanic stuff. This is the sky, it's the background, it's light. You have the midground, and you have like a bit of a foreground here. Same here, foreground, midground, this, and a background. And it's nice to have these things overlap. Like not so much here because it's like a bit of a seascape, I guess. So but you have overlapping in the foreground to the midground. And here we have a lot of going on, but still it's the same principle. Like the background is, I guess, barely visible. It's like this very light gray thing here, and we have a lot of midground elements. All of these trees, of this here, is all midground. This image consists mainly of midground and a bit of a foreground. Okay, so yeah, do these. They will help you with your landscape drawing a lot. And do these first in black and white, and afterwards you can dive into color as soon as you understand how color works. And I guess I can try to explain a bit how color works, but it's a whole different beast altogether. So the most important thing is if you look at this image, you can still see the stuff that I showed you earlier in here. You can have wait a moment. Let me grab another layer. And a really bright red. Red. A really bright red paints with the yellow. Yeah, it's yellow. I'm sorry. Like this here clearly is foreground. This is also foreground. Okay. All of this here, I mean, you can argue that this might also be foreground and this might be another type of foreground. Like these are intricate details, you don't have to worry about them. All of this and this and this and this is midground, and the rest, like stuff like this here, this is the background. And if you transform that to black and white, which is something I try to do with a production layer now. Wait a moment. Let me grab... Where is that? I hate this principle, how it is organized here. You have filters and you have correction layers, and I don't really like that. Actually, that's the wrong way to do that, but just if I push the saturation down, you can see that the same principle holds true. And usually when people dive into color too quick, those those levels, those foreground, midground, and backgrounds, they keep swapping around. You have like a lot of variation, tonal variation in the midground, and suddenly it doesn't look right anymore. Like you have to do this very coarse painting first, and then you have to iterate on it without adding too much contrast. Yeah, so basically that's on how to improve landscape painting with Phyrexis. I hope I didn't go to on a too massive tangent there. I hope it helped a bit to make my point clear on how to paint with a plan, I guess. Okay, why not? Another good idea is to just have something on screen. I say that all over again, like with these lines here. I mean, I toned them down now quite a bit, but it's better to have them and then to tone them down, even if you almost erase them. But it's usually a better call than to just control erase everything out. Usually overpainting is a better call. Let us introduce the grid lines again. Bless you. I wanted to actually wrap this up in this stream. I don't think that is happening, is it? So many places in this image that I want to correct, and we haven't even started at the foreground with that little hamster guy. Actually, this looks way off. Let's overpaint. And we can maybe add some openings later. Let's zoom in here. Let's look at the whole image again, and we might need some bluish tones here as well. And switch on the grid. The more we come to this outer edge, I think the more subtle I want this effect to be. I don't like the separation there. Should it be a shiny corner, indirect light? I mean, I guess you can make the point of like indirect light and stuff like that, but at this point I'm not really thinking about like light sources. I think more about shapes, and I want those shapes to read well. And I can, if I overdo it on that, I can tone that down until it looks right. And you can argue that I go a bit too far with this effect. It's a bit of personal preference, but I still like to make all of the transitions that are happening here very clear. And that way, when you make those transitions clear, it gives this kind of effect of grandiose scale of, I guess you can say epicness, because usually when we see that sfumato effect, that's how it is called, like you have this receding into the background. And also GVGL, you are lurking, that's fine too. Give it a third dimension, looks good, yeah. Yeah, I want to explain that a bit. I mean, if you use this effect, you basically throw away the mental model that you're painting a city, and you're going back to abstract painting. I mean, a lot of people have experienced abstract paintings that have not that much to do with composition, but like in the beginning stages, when you go to German Expressionism and stuff like that, you already mentioned Metropolis, which is actually a prime example of this. So when you get back to this, it's actually all of this stuff that I'm talking about without a subject matter. This is why I can easily spot, like, for me, a good abstract painting is exactly that. It is good composition without the content. And once you are a painter and you kind of know how these things work, you're like, you can spot stuff that is good and stuff that is just done by somebody throwing paint on the canvas. I mean, we can have a chat about art, and there's also some interesting aspects in minimalism and stuff which doesn't bother with composition at all. Okay, I get all of this, but actually when I look at abstract art, I'm more interested in the stuff that I can recognize as a good composition. For me, that's important regardless if it's abstract or not. And you might think, oh, okay, well, Phyrexis, I'm just interested in painting like overly detailed concept arty works. Why should I bother with all of this academia abstract crap? And my answer to this is usually, you want to know how composition works? You want to get better? Then you better should study that. Because if you don't understand that, your art will stagnate. That being said, you can, in theory, learn all of this without ever looking at one abstract painting, and do that purely on studying composition for non-abstract art, like figürliche Kunst. Sorry, didn't remember the right word there. You can do that, but then again, I guess it's easier to see that also in the abstract art. Okay, we have now passed the 2-hour mark, and what I like to do is at that point look at how far we came. We started here, like this was our base painting, and I was not sure if we're doing a good job. I mean, at the beginning of the painting. And now I feel like it really improved by a lot. Like this was one stream. Yeah, I do think it worked very nicely. Yep. Okay, let's leave it like that. Built you out from the belly, it looks organic. Yeah, I like this like hamster city vibe that it's giving me. It's carved into the rock, like what hamsters, I guess, I used to do. I'm not a big hamster expert, but yeah, I try to incorporate this in the city, and I think here I really like that, and here it gets a bit more generic. Then again, I like the shapes. So I think we can have both, can't we? I mean, perhaps this is the older part of the city, and this is the more modern one. This works. I think we can justify that. We do need to work a bit on the spaceships and on the hamster, if I'm totally honest. I avoid drawing the foreground because I hate that so much. And I really enjoy painting these grandiose landscapes, but we do have to do that at some point. Okay, tell you what. I'm gonna save this, and I'm gonna take a short break, and after the break we will continue in German, and we will play some video games. What are we playing, you might be asking? Yeah, I'm gonna tell that when I'm back. I think I'm also... maybe I get a limo. I'm not sure. Okay, okay, let's take the quick break, and I'm back very soon. Take care.